Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the Interagency Consultation Group meeting. And also thank you for your flexibility with moving the meeting back a week. That's very helpful for our modeling team and MDE to compare results and get everything on board. So this is the May 15th, 2024 ICG meeting, and this meeting is being recorded. If anyone has any difficulties, please let me know in the chat and we can see what we can do. The first item on the agenda here is the approval of the April 2024 minutes from April 3rd, and that was our in-person meeting. And has everyone had a chance to review the minutes, and does anyone have any questions? Okay, hearing none, can I please have a motion and a second to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay, and we will now vote on the approval of the minutes. Everyone in favor, please say aye.
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 Great, thank you. The minutes are approved, and we will now move on to the next item in the agenda, which is to go over the modeling results of the regional emission analysis to then be released to the public. We have our public comment period coming up for the TIP and the air quality conformity. And after our meeting today, we're going to be launching that public comment period tomorrow, and then it'll be open for 30 days. And we will then, go through the process of the moving on to the joint ICG and tech committee meeting in July to then be approved by the BRTB at the July meeting at the end of July. So we're glad that everything's keeping on schedule. And so let me share that PowerPoint for all of you. All right. Can everyone see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes. Can you put it just in the, yes, thank you.
Yep. All right. All right, so I just put the emission results in a PowerPoint to hopefully make it a little easier to review. So the current mobile budget that was deemed adequate by the EPA is the 2023 motor vehicle emission budgets, and these are for VOC and NOx emissions, and VOCs is 17.47 tons per day. And NOx emissions is 35.26 tons per day. And just as a reminder, these were approved or deemed adequate by the EPA on August 18th, 2023. And the modeling we used was for 5 different horizon years, 2023, 2025, 35, 45, and 2050. And we all use the MOVES 3 model. Here's Brian. Click on the admin. Hey, Brian, thanks for joining. I'm just going through the emissions results currently. So here we have our overall summary of the emission results. And this year, because of the Key Bridge collapse in March, our modeling team decided to model 2025 with the Key Bridge as if it was still there, and then did a modeling without the Key Bridge. And the assumption is that by 2035, the bridge will hopefully be rebuilt, and so didn't have an impact on the modeling. But as you can see, just from the general trends here, there's a pretty significant decrease in emissions level for both NOx and VOCs starting in 2035. And we asked the modeling team at MDE about some of these, why this might be, and some of the benefits that to emission reduction are coming from various legislation and policy, including the phase 2 heavy duty vehicle greenhouse gas rule. There's the SAFER rule, which is the safer, affordable fuel efficient vehicles rule, and that sets fuel economy and carbon dioxide standards for model years 2021 through 2026. And then there's also the there's one more, the tier 3 light duty vehicle standards. So all of these are helping to contribute to emission reduction for both NOx and VOCs significantly more in 2035. And the trends are showing that with the emission reduction, even though there's VMT increasing, emissions are still decreasing. And this is because of better technology and different policies that I've just listed that are helping to reduce emissions even with an increase in VMT. And so based on the conformity budget that was set and all the horizon years, every one of them is showing to be under the conformity budget. And this one specifically for NOx emissions. So that's exciting. And for VOC emissions, it's showing all to be under the conformity budget as well. So it's really exciting for our region to be showing that we are attaining the ozone standards and are in line with the state implementation plan for the 2015 ozone standard. So that was all I had here, but I'll go back to the overall summary sheet. And if anyone would like to add anything or has any questions, please feel free before we move on to a vote. All right. Got an easy crowd today. Yeah, so all good news. All of these emission results will also be available for the public to view on the public comment period starting tomorrow. And they are also in the conformity determination document. So, and if you would like this PowerPoint, I can also share that with you all.
Yeah,
okay.
that'd be great. And thank you to all the modelers who did all the heavy lifting for this at MDE and BMC.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. They're all on this call, so awesome.
Anna, it's Marcia. Thank you everyone too for your flexibility in moving this a week so that we had the time and the ability to get this done. Everything went very well, no hiccups, but we just never know when that's going to happen. So thank you for your flexibility.
Sure, yeah, of course. It's important to get everyone on the same page, so that was no problem. All right, well, if there are no other comments, can I please have a motion and a second to approve the emission results?
MD will make a motion to approve the results.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, thank you. And we'll now vote on the approval of the emission results. Can, everyone in favor, please say aye.
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 Brian, are you? able to say?
Did you not hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Aye. Sorry. I thought
That's
I
okay.
said.
No problem. Thank you. All right. Everyone approved. So the mission results are approved. Thank you. Let me stop sharing. And we will now move on to the next item. Let me, so many tabs open. The next item on our agenda is to go over 2024 to 2027 TIP amendments. And I shared an email with you all yesterday with some additional TIP amendments. And so we're going to review the ones for May, including the Francis Scott Key Bridge planning study from the MDTA, and also the Penn Camden connector, which are both May TIP amendments. And then there's 3 new June TIP amendments that we can take action on at a later date. But Keith will also share some information about that because we get the new ones. So just want to make sure everyone is aware and on the same page. So let me see here. So I'll turn it over to Keith now and let me find the Penn Camden connector. All right, Keith, it's all yours.
Okay, as Anna said, the MDOT MTA is proposing to add the Penn Camden connector to the 2024 to 2027 TIP. So I'll go over a little bit of background and the schedule and the benefits of the project. Go ahead, next slide. So this is being funded through a CRISI grant, which is Consolidated Rail Infrastructure and Safety Improvements. And the amendment will be adding $11 million for engineering in 2024. And the total estimated cost of this improvement would be $232.9 million. So the whole point of this project is to build a connection, a rail between the Northeast Corridor and the CSX owned Camden line. Most of this property is already existing railroad property, railroad right of way. So there's not going to be a whole lot of, if any, right of way acquisition necessary. And this will allow the Penn line trains to be able to access the storage and maintenance facilities at the Riverside Yard. And as part of this project, the Riverside Yard will be upgraded to accommodate additional trains. And this would help MARC be more efficient with being able to move their trains back and forth to the Riverside facility from the and it kind of eliminates the need to use the Penn Station area for storage. So as I said, this will be using CRISI funds and add $11 million. I believe I said 2024. They're actually adding it into the 2025, but because of the grant process, they needed to add it into the 24 TIP. So this increases. This includes the $8.8 million of the CRISI grant and $2.2 million worth of matching funds. And this is just a quick snapshot of the schedule. The grant was awarded in fall of 23, so therefore they had to add it into the TIP. They should be kicking off the project this spring and anticipate having 30% design finished in 2025 in the fall. And they'll be looking for additional funding to actually construct the project and finish design. So this is, as I said, MTA's project, and Jamie Richardson's the project manager for that project. But if you have any questions, I can either try to answer them or I can get a hold of Jamie and get responses. I guess I should say that we are proposing this to be an exempt project. for conformity. So yeah, any questions? Some of you guys already saw this presentation at the tech committee meeting, so.
Yeah, thanks, Keith. Can people see when I switch my PDF documents? I hope that's showing up. This exemption status sheet is just showing the reasoning, in that's aligned with the conformity rule. And since it's a connection track on the Northeast Corridor and the Mark Camden line, maintenance, the exemption reasoning is rehab or reconstruction of track structures in existing rights of way. So that's why it would be exempt from the conformity. Yeah, I guess if there's no questions on this one, we can move on to the FSK Bridge one, and then we can do a vote on the May amendments after that. Does that work, Keith? I'll just, this is the resolution I shared with all of you tomorrow, the draft resolution that will be presented at the May 28th BRTB meeting. We had to expedite this tip amendment to May because they would like to put out an RFP in June, but it has to be added to our tip before the RFP can go out. And yeah, so Keith, if you'd like to explain a little, go ahead.
Sure. Well, I think it's pretty self-explanatory that with the bridge collapse now that they need to reconstruct a new bridge or construct a new bridge. It's going to be, according to MDTA, it's going to be in the same location and have the same lane configurations. So there's they may make wider shoulders. That hasn't been determined yet, but that, would mainly be to accommodate maybe bicycles or pedestrians, but the actual lane configurations is going to remain as it was. Currently, I list this project as being exempt because they're only asking for planning funds. And it's right now they're only asking for they're using state funds to do the planning, but I think that's just kind of a placeholder to get it into the tip for now. When the federal funds come through and they start actually doing engineering, this is most likely going to flip to a not exempt project. But for now, since it's just the planning funds that they're asking for, we list it as exempt.
Could you clarify what in the future could make it be not exempt? Just because I know bridge reconstruction can sometimes be considered as exempt as long as it's not adding new lanes.
And that's possible that it may be not exempt, or it may be exempt. I'm sorry. I think it all is going to depend on what they're doing with the lanes, the approaches to it. Since it's going to be in the exact same location with the exact same lane configurations, no widening, so there's no capacity improvements. It may go down as exempt once we get into design, but I won't know that until they submit their tip sheet for the final design and everything. So for now, I'm saying it could go not exempt, but it could go the other way. It could stay as exempt since there's potentially no changes. But for this one, clearly just planning funds and no changes, no widening for this. Definitely goes down as exempt, I would think. That's my recommendation. Sorry.
Just out of curiosity, is it 1.84 billion just for the planning project or the planning portion of it?
1.84 billion would be the total cost to construct.
Oh, okay, to construct as well.
Yeah, the planning,
Just curious.
the planning portion is adding just $100,000 for this amendment.
Okay, cool.
Although I'm going to complicate it, when we get the FY25 tip sheet, there could easily be more money, and I'm sure it's going to cost more than 100,000 for planning. But right now, we're just dealing with FY24. Soon, we will get a new project for the tip, and so we're going to have to add it to the draft tip, and we'll speak to you about that directly.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so the new 25 and beyond money will not be part of the May draft that we're issuing, where that's going live tomorrow, but it will be part of the final draft or final version that we approve in July. So nobody's going to really see this until the final draft comes out. And this is just a funding breakdown, that next sheet, which just shows the money in 2024. And that's all I have.
Yeah, thanks, Keith. Any other questions on FSK amendment? All right. So now, before going on to the June ones, can I please have a motion and a second to approve the exemption status of the May amendments, which is the Penn Camden connector and the FSK bridge planning study?
I'll make a motion to approve the exempt status of these two projects.
I'll second.
Great. Thank you.
Disappointed, Brian. You're usually the guy that seconds everything. Come on, man.
Beat me to the punch.
Mhm.
Right, thanks, everybody. And then all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Great, all right. The conformity status is approved, and this, both of them will be resolutions at our next board meeting. Okay, let me. All right, so now we can just do a quick overview of the 3 June ones, and then we can follow up. I'll send you all exemption status sheets for them, and we can vote via email or whenever we have a better chance for everyone to review these. But yeah, so Keith, if you'd like to go over them.
And you all may be able to approve these now, as far as, because there's 3 projects, they're all transit projects, and none of them involve any kind of scope changes to them. They're all just shifting money from previous years into FY24. So that's the year of obligation of the money. So there's no changes to the projects at all. They're all previously approved as exempt. And since there's no scope changes, it's just shifting some funding from previous years. It's pretty simple to assume that these are probably going to remain exempt. So, you know, you might be able to just say yes now, but that's up to you guys.
Right. And if I could chime in, I understand from MDOT that we are going to receive more of these changes for the MTA program, and it's because we're going to get wording that we can share with you, but they said typically FTA has wanted funds to show up based on the grant request, and now they're changing to be to a pattern that is similar to FHWA, that is more along the lines of year of obligation or cash flow. So we're going to get a whole bunch of these as MTA makes that transition. And as soon as we get appropriate wording, instead of me just sort of trying to capture what I heard during the call, we'll share that with you. But I think we're going to get more of these in the near term while that's being cleaned up.
Oh boy, thanks for that good news, Regina. Anyway, this project is for the bus and paratransit vehicle overhaul replacement again. No changes to the existing scope, just shifting funds. And if you want me to, I can go over the scope, but I don't know that it's necessary. This one shifts about quite a bit of money. It's adds about $70 million or $65 million or so to this from previous years to FY24. That's just the original funding that was in there, and then we showed the updated funding. Most of it was CMAQ funding that is being moved.
Okay, I can go to the next tip sheet.
Yep, you can whip through these pretty quick, I think.
Yeah. Sorry, my
Uh-oh.
little
I got really
thing
good.
isn't, there we go.
Similar situation, Metro and light rail rolling stock overhauls and replacement. No changes to the scope of the project. It was previously listed the conformity status as exempt. Again, just shifting money from previous years to the year of obligation of 2024. So this one shifts about 30, about $42 million, $41 million from previous years to 2024. Again, no scope changes, so we're just recommending this one stay as exempt. And this is just the funding breakdown. And as you scroll through, keep going, you can see all the changes are in FY24. These are the ones that are underlined. Should be one more below that too. Yep, there you go. Again, most of the funding changes were in the CMAQ funding. So we're recommending this one to remain exempt as well. And then the last one is the, go ahead, you can switch it. The small urban transit systems, capital assistance. This is assistance to the Baltimore region's city of Annapolis, Howard County, for the purchase of small buses and replacements of minivans and things like that. Again, this one was previously exempt, and we're recommending this to stay exempt as well. Again, just shifting funds from previous years into the 2024 tip. This one's a little bit smaller in nature, so we're only shifting about $7 or $8 million in this one.
Great. Yeah, so those are the 3 ones for June. And as Keith was saying, we could vote on it now if you feel comfortable, or we can follow up by email, whatever. What do you all think?
I don't mind voting on them now, but I'm open to whatever the other members want as well.
Brian or Sophia, do you have a preference?
Is this the number that they need for this year? I mean, if it's set, I know you said something about adding language and future adjustments. If this is set, I'm good voting now.
Oh, yes. I'm just saying, I can provide a generic description of all these changes, and it's simply going from a grant-based to an obligation-based appearance. But the information on these 3 sheets are accurate.
Okay, and then like FY25, you're saying they're going to update to cash flow later.
They're starting it now. That's why we're getting amendments.
Right. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
I'm good.
I'm fine with that.
I'll make a motion to adopt these amendments.
I'll second.
Great. All right. Thank you. And let's see. All in favor of the motion for the June amendments exemption status, please say aye. Great. All right. Well, that was easy. The June amendments are approved and they will be presented at the June BRTB meetings and coming up at the June Tech Committee meeting too, right, Keith?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So we're just getting a little jump start. Great. Let me bring up the agenda again. So moving on to our next item, which is member updates. So we'll just go through if anyone has anything additional. So we'll start with Brian.
Yeah, so BRTB, we recently, or I guess BRTB recently received the project applications for the carbon reduction program. There's 22 applications for the region, so staff is going to start working with MDOT to coordinate project selection. And staff is also working on the upcoming UPWP project for both the CRP and the Protect programs. And the last update I have is federal certification and the public comment period has concluded, and so staff is working on the draft responses.
Thank you. And Catherine, anything from MDE?
I don't think I have an update today.
All right. Sophia, any MDOT updates?
Yes, I do have a couple of things to share. So, Brian, thanks for giving that update on the CRP. I know in terms of the applications, I'm glad to hear there was a bunch in the region, so that's not of concern. I know there's a few areas where MDOT staff are now doing some targeted outreach to make sure all the regions are represented, but I think no issue on the Baltimore front, so that's all good to go. I do also want to give an update on something related to the bridge collapse. So MDOT staff are working on a TDM response. So just trying to see what can be done in terms of the congestion that's now a result of the changing traffic patterns. And so it's not a set in stone update or anything like that, but it is something that is getting worked on to see what can be done for congestion and people's commutes and all that now that all the traffic is getting redirected around in different ways. And one other thing to share, so we will be having regional webinars in June related to NEVI, and that will help to inform the next year's plan update. Also, you're probably all aware of this already, but right now, the first round of NEVI applications closed last month, and those applications are under review currently for that first round of funding. So I think that's all I have to share. Let me know if anyone has any questions on anything I just mentioned.
I'm Gen Z and I am currently wearing ankle socks. This is news to me.
Marcia, do you have something to add? Your microphone unmuted.
Yeah, I was just going to see if we could go back a step. Now that we're done with the modeling for conformity for this year, we need to start the process for looking towards next year and the use of MOVES 4 because we must use MOVES 4 next year. So I've reached out to folks from all the 3 agencies, and we have a call on the 12th of June in the afternoon to go ahead and start that process. So please make sure you got that. And if not, reach out to somebody and let us know, and we'll make sure you get it.
Great. Yep. Thank you. Yeah, that's on my calendar. So looking forward to kicking that off. All right. Thank you, Marcia and Sophia. And our EPA and FTA reps aren't on, but Jasmine, you're on. Do you have any updates?
The only updates I have is we conducted the BRTB TMA server review site visit on May 1st and 2nd, and that followed a public meeting. So the next steps is we're meeting as a review team to kind of discuss feedback and developing the report. So we do plan on sending in a few additional questions or points that we would like to hear from the MPO in the next few weeks. So look for that. And then lastly, I have the Transportation Access Pilot Program. It's currently accepting letter of interest. I believe I've already sent this out to you all. If not, please follow up with me and I could resend it. The deadline for letter of interest is on June 7th, and there is a webinar tomorrow on how to apply. That's all I have.
Great. Thank you. All right. We're on the final item here, other business. It's just if needed. I don't think there's anything else to add today. One thing I wanted to check with you. So our next scheduled meeting is on June 5th, which is 3-ish weeks from now, 3 weeks. And because we already approved the exemption status of the June tip amendments, and there's nothing else related to conformity at this time, because we're approving the emission results today. We would be okay with canceling the meeting and just wanted to check with the members if that's okay and what your thoughts are.
That works for me. And if any other amendments come up, we can always chat via email or call a meeting, I guess. But yeah, that works for me if that works for everyone else.
Works for me.
Yep, that sounds okay. Just let us know via email if anything comes up.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, so then we will move forward with canceling the June 5th meeting, and that would mean our next meeting will be in person on July 2nd, which is a Tuesday, because it will be a joint meeting with the technical committee and ICG to approve the conformity determination report, as well as the 25 to 28 tip. And yeah, but if anything else comes up, any members want to meet, please let me know. We can always schedule the meeting if needed. But yeah, that's all I have. Anyone else have anything to add before we close the meeting? All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining, and I hope you all have a good rest of your Wednesday, and we will see you all in July.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.